I'm wearing a new shirt because someone said I wear the same shirts all the time. So I specifically picked a shirt that I think I have never worn before. Not just on the show, but just ever. Hopefully my mom doesn't see that because she bought me this shirt. Sorry, Ma. Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome to Pretty Good Cooking.
Pretty good.
Tonight on the show, I'm going to teach you how to make a one-pot quarantine meal. Today's quarantine meal theme will be chicken, beans, and rice. And we'll talk about substitutions and stuff. But I wanted to be like everybody else, make, relevant food items so that you can be inspired by what's in your pantry. I did not go to the store for anything in this meal. I don't remember the last time I went to the store. I will say that I keep a little bit better stock on hand in my pantry than some people do. I was preparing for this situation for a few weeks. So you might not have all these things, but that's okay because it's still going to be good, even with just some of these things. This is just to timestamp this episode. This is week 4 of lockdown during the coronavirus outbreak. Feels pretty much normal at this point, but shit's not good in the world. That's all I gotta say about that. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody. I don't want to assume that it is. I am having a beer that I've almost finished, so let me finish that beer. Great, we've started the recipe. Okay, so for this recipe, you'll need some ingredients. And by the way, Courtney's filming. And
I'm short.
John dropped off his camera, so we got better quality footage now, but the angle's different.
Sorry.
So over here I have some ingredients and some mayo. So we'll be having rice. I'm using basmati because it cooks fast. Some frozen chicken breast pieces that I thawed, a can of tomatoes, a can of beans, some pickled peppers from 2018. Got this onion from my onion stash. And we might use other things. I got my one pot. This time it's gonna be the Dutch oven. So we will get that heated up over medium heat. We'll hit it with a little bit of canola oil and we'll start cooking. So I'm gonna start with an onion. Here it is. This is a pretty small onion, but you could use whatever size onion that you prefer. Just like almost everything I've ever made on the show. So I'm chopping an onion. That's how you cook. That was half an onion. This is another one. Not another one. A whole one. That was the other thing I was supposed to say. We're using a whole one, but you chop it in half of an onion. And I'm just gonna, chop it like normal. Here's that other half an onion. All right, there's our onion. And we can just take that and put it right in the pot. Move it around. And by the way, if you had a bell pepper hanging around, you could put one of those in here at this point. I ain't got none of those. Alright, next up is our chicken. I'm trying not to waste anything, okay? So, this is gonna be a little gross at first, but it'll make sense later. Alright, trying not to waste anything. So, in this cup over here, got lots of things that got liquid in them. I'm just gonna drain liquid into this cup. I mean, if you're thinking, oh, that's pretty weird, why would you save raw chicken juice? The answer is we're gonna cook it, so it doesn't matter. But it might make things taste better. Maybe. I don't know. It's an experiment. Here's my my chicken breast. Really not using like a ton today. And that's because, in the spirit of conservation or whatever, you really don't need too much meat in this dish. Got protein from other sources. So I'm just gonna chop that into small bite-sized pieces. A little bit smaller than you might otherwise. Make it go further. And even in the frozen version, these are still too thick. I'm gonna chop them in half. I don't know what they'd be doing to those chickens to make them grow like that. Whatever. Alright, and in our chicken goes. Alright, now you could season these a little bit here. A little salt, a lot of salt actually. A little pep. And we'll give it a mix. And the goal at this point is just to get these browned a little bit. Not really trying to cook them, just brown. Alright, so that's cooking. Nothing's browning, but it's cooking, it's fine. Let's work with some other ingredients. I got a can of black beans. We're gonna try to strain that bad boy. Also, into this here thing, if there's a couple beans in there, that's okay. So far we've made an elixir of just about the 2 grossest liquids imaginable. Raw chicken juice and canned bean juice. It's no problem. Now let's take it up a notch. Add some canned tomato juice from this can of tomatoes. Alright, here we go. More liquid. Yum yum. Looks great. Alright. So far, between those things, we have accumulated 1 cup of liquid. That would have gone right down the drain. Santa Maria. Okay, over here in the pot, things are looking pretty cooked. Not really browning like I had hoped. And that's mainly because that chicken was pretty wet. So that can prevent the browning action. So we're gonna add other ingredients here in a quick second. But first, let's see what's in the liquor cabinet. Now since we're in quarantine, I'm trying to drink down the collection. Particularly, focusing on the bourbons that are not special. So let's pick a not special bourbon to drink tonight. Old Fitzgerald. Original Sour Mash. Prime bourbon. It's prime. 80 proof, so that's gonna be mellow. Let's have a little sippy poo. You're supposed to smell it with your mouth open. Smooth and uninteresting. Alright, get a little bit of browning on one part of the pot, but I think it's really fine how it is. Alright, so gonna add just a little bit more oil. Not a whole lot, just a little dab. That was kind of a glug. And to this we're gonna add the rice. That's right, we're gonna cook the rice in oil. The reason you do this is when you coat rice in oil, it makes it fluffier, I think. Something like that. So here's half a cup, just pouring it over. We're gonna make 2 cups of the rice. Alright, and then we'll move it around a whole bunch like this. Really give it a proper mix. So far we've made a monochromatic meal. That's gonna be nice. Alright, what else we gotta add? We got peppers from years gone by. Pickled peppers. Had some of these recently, they taste just fine. Just fine. So I'm gonna give those a handful of these, big chop. Nothing big about the chop other than I meant to say quick chop. And if you got a can of those little green chilies, that actually might even be better than this. Alright, turn down your heat just a little bit. Yeah, you can see if you leave this alone for very long, it'll just stick and burn. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. Alright, so let's add that leftover liquid. Recycled liquid, look at that. We're adding that good shit. Also gonna add 2 more cups of water. Okay, then we give it one of these, and it turns look at that beautiful color of pinkish gray. Looks pretty bad. You can pop in your peps, pop in your tomatoes. Man, it's almost a meal at this point. Your beans. Isn't that a nice sound? Thanks, beans. And I'm gonna use frozen corn because I have it, but a can of corn would work just fine. I have canned corn too, but I prefer the frozen corn. I think it tastes better. Take that to the bank. Now I'm gonna add a lot of corn because I like corn. You could thaw it if you want. I'm pretty sure it says don't thaw, but you're the master of your own destiny. There's the corn. Lots of corn, the whole thing in there. Yum, yum. And I am thinking I might need more liquid. Let's add another cup. Alright, now we season it. Gonna season it with oregano. Had to order this twice because Amazon sent me whole cloves instead of oregano. And I was like, that ain't it. And they're like, oops. They just sent me another one. Told me to keep the cloves. Which is like nice because cloves aren't that cheap. But what the hell am I gonna do with that many whole cloves? Alright, here's that oregano. Give it a nice sprinkle. Sprinkle dinkle. And you gotta not hold back on the seasoning. Because, I forgot to put garlic in, so we'll just use garlic powder. Can't hold back on the seasoning because you're making do. So most likely your food is not going to taste optimally anyways. Cayenne pepper, a little spice. Why not? Finally got an appropriate amount of cumin for the way that I'd be cooking. One of those. Bay leaves if you got them. I don't think I will ever not have bay leaves. This is this one pack I bought years ago. 6 chili powder. That seems good. Alright. Oh, wait. Can I add a little Goya? A little Goya Adobo. Just to make sure that it's too salty to eat. And if you don't got fresh herbs, you can throw in some freeze-dried herbs. Give yourself the illusion of flavor with freeze-dried parsley. Why not?
Oh, that was a lot.
That ain't gonna do nothing. Okay, here's our seasoning. Mixing up our pot. Looks pretty thick to me. I'm a little worried about how the rice is gonna cook. Give it some black pepper. But we'll almost do it risotto style. So I'm gonna bring this up to a boil. And I'm gonna keep an eye on it. If it starts sticking to the bottom, I'm just gonna add more liquid. So I will update you shortly when this is boiling. We will be back. Alright, in a couple minutes you can see our pot bubbling away, like so. Give it a big stir, turn the heat all the way down, and put the lid back on. And we'll let that go 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We'll see. We'll be back. Okay, it's been only 10 minutes, but come check this out. can see that almost all the liquid's been absorbed, and it looks a little wet, which means that it's almost done cooking. I've been like trying to scrape the bottom to make sure things don't burn. But at this point, I'm gonna turn the heat off all the way. And if we let this sit for another 5-10 minutes with the lid on, it'll keep cooking. But because the heat source has been removed, it should not burn. In just a few more minutes, it'll be ready to eat. How easy was that? Alright, it's been 5 minutes of resting. And check this out. 1 pot, 1 dish. Perfectly cooked. Nice beans and rice with a little chicken. Looks great. So let's serve it up and hit it with the toppings that we have. I'm a fan of using a bowl with the saucer. Makes it feel fancy. So we'll scoop up some of that goodness. By the way, if you're not under a global pandemic, this could be a good meal prep for you. Better times. Look at that. Looks great. Alright, now here I have probably the saddest looking bunch of cilantro you ever seen. It's been sitting in my fridge for a minute. I'm gonna rehydrate it. Now it looks even worse. But we'll mince some of that up. I think it'll taste just fine. Doesn't look rotten. If you ain't got this, just omit it. And if you got lime juice, that would be great. I have the not fresh version as well. That would be just fine. Serve with a lime. And if you wanted to, you could top with cheese, sour cream, yogurt, hot sauce, any salsa, any of your toppings that you desire. All right, we're gonna mix it up a little bit, pump it up. Let's give it a taste. It's good. It's really good. I feel like everything cooked perfectly. Could have put a lot more effort into that, cooking everything separate and shit, but this is great. So we'll get several good meals out of that. You can doctor it up with all your toppings, and yeah, hope everyone's doing okay. And on that note, that's how you do it. Be safe. Bye-bye.